Hi everyone, welcome to the Chronicle Workshop. We'll be talking about powering the apps with data from Oracles. A few words about myself. My name is Bianca Buzea. I'm lead DevRel at Chronicle. You can find my social media links. I'm always more than happy to chat, answer any questions. I'm also going to be at the Chronicle booth. You can find it on the left side here. We'll be here until Sunday answering questions, helping you work on your projects. And yeah, please come by. We're happy to chat and help you find teammates and ideas to work on. In terms of agenda, we're going to look at Oracles, what are Oracles, then what we prepared at Chronicle for ETHGlobal Bangkok. Then we're going to look at why Chronicle, because you might have seen there are multiple Oracles at this hackathon, so we want to show you what differentiates us. And then we're going to have a brief hands-on of building with Chronicle. So first of all, what are Web3 Oracles? I like to explain Oracles by using this very simple yet powerful analogy, I would say. So if you think about your mobile phone, it's powerful because it allows you to interact with all these different applications. But in order to do that, there is an exchange of data between these applications and your phone. Now, when you put your phone on play mode, all of a sudden, this transfer of data doesn't happen anymore. So very soon, your phone becomes pretty much useless. You can't do much with a phone on airplane mode. Similarly to that, Oracles need data. If you think about the blockchain is like a big sandbox that doesn't know anything about the outside world. However, in order to build useful applications on the blockchain, you need data. So using Oracles, which are the middleware, we take data and we put it on chain for smart contracts. And from there, different applications can read from those smart contracts and use that data for various use cases. We're going to see in a bit what use cases you can build with Chronicle Oracles. Now, a few words about Chronicle. Chronicle has been around since 2017. An interesting fact, actually, is the very first Oracle on Ethereum. Last year, it spun out of MakerDAO under the brand of Chronicle, and now the protocol, it's open for everyone, and it powers other DApps as well. In terms of TVS, or total value secure, there are around 9 billion of assets. So not only that it has been running for so many years, but also it has been securing a great deal of assets. Now, what is special about our Oracles is our Chronicle Scribe. This is an extremely gas-efficient Oracle using aggregated Schnorr signatures. Schnorr signatures have been around for a while, since the 1990s. They even are used in Bitcoin. However, this is the first time when we use Schnorr signatures in the context of Web3 Oracles. Now we're going to see what are the specific characteristics that set apart Chronicle Scribe Oracles. So we're going to talk about the decentralization, verifiability, and scalability. The first one is decentralization. So Chronicle is powered by a decentralized network of validators. You can see here some of the most reputable protocols in the Web3 space, like MakerDAO, Etherscan, DeFiSaver, ETHGlobal, and many others. And the idea here, it's simple. Basically, these validators are staking their own reputation when they're putting and signing data to get on-chain. The next property is verifiability. And I want to run here a short demo to show you how you can trace end-to-end our Oracle. So here I'm on the Chronicle dashboard at chroniclelabs.org/dashboard. And you can see here all the Oracles. I can go ahead and select one of the Oracles. Let's say the ETHUSD one, it's a popular one. And I can see all the validators that have taken part. If I select one of the validators, let's say, I don't know, Gnosis, I can see the different data sources that have been used by that validators. As you can see, it's a combination of on-chain and off-chain data sources. I can even do, take it one step further, and I can verify in the browser the signature for this validator. And basically, I can prove that even the tiniest change will result into making the signature invalid. So here is like the unmodified version, and if I go ahead and do even the slightest change and delete a 0, it's gonna say that the signature is not valid anymore. Similarly, I can verify the Schnorr signature. This is actually the data that gets pushed on chain. So same concept here. So this is about the end-to-end verifiability part. Let's go back to the presentation. Scalability. So using optimistic Schnorr signatures, we're able to reduce the gas fees over 60% on layer 1 and over 68% on layer 2s. And why is this important? Not only that you will have a lower bill in terms of gas costs, but also what is very interesting is that it allows you to decouple the gas costs from the number of validators. What does it mean is that you can add as many validators as you want without inflating your gas costs. So now you can achieve actual decentralization because you have more validators, which also results into better security. Now, I'm sure you're here for building this weekend, so let's have a look at the different bounties. Chronicle is offering this weekend 10K in bounties for ETHGlobal Bangkok. If you want to scan the QR code, please go ahead. It's going to take you to a page with all the resources for the hackathon and all the important links. So please make sure to scan that. We have one track for the best integration of Chronicle Oracles. We're keeping it quite open. As you can see, you can integrate any of our oracles from the dashboard on any of the 10 chains where we're live for your favorite use case. Some example here, these are only to get you inspired, but please go ahead and build whatever you're passionate about. Some examples are a game with dynamic prices, a reputation system, an analytics dashboard, an AI optimization for DAO treasury management, etc. We also have a prize pool where any valid submission gets a share of the prize pool. So if you're submitting something this weekend for Chronicle, you at least get qualified for the prize pool if you don't get one of the prizes in the integration track. Okay, looks like everyone scanned the QR code. Next, what sort of data can I use for the Chronicle track at ETHGlobal Bangkok? As mentioned earlier, anything from our dashboard, you have there the link from our dashboard, any sort of Oracle integration is valid. One of the requirements, though, is to make a state change. So Chronicle is also blockchain agnostic. You can see here the 10 chains where it's currently live. This number continuously increases over time. So this weekend, you're free to use any of these chains. Some of these chains are also offering bounties, so you might want to look into one of those. Something to keep in mind, please always make sure to check the correct addresses for that chain, because both the oracles and the self-kisser contract that we're going to talk in a bit for whitelisting have different addresses for different chains, so always make sure to have the right address. Now, the fun part, how do I use a Chronicle Oracle? I have that QR code over there that I invite you to scan. It's going to take you to a guide that shows you how to integrate Chronicle Oracles. But before of that, I want to explain you the overall concept. So Chronicle Oracles are read protected by a whitelist. What does it mean? It means that in order to read from the oracles, you need to be whitelisted. Now, the good part is that on testnet networks, you can whitelist yourself. We have a self-kisser smart contract, and using that you can do the whitelisting yourself. On mainnet, you need to come and talk to us, but that's a story for another day. We're here at the hackathon using the testnet, so that should be fine. Here I have the process of what you need to keep in mind when you're reading from Chronicle Oracle. The first step is you select the chain that you want. I showed you the 10 chains where it's available. You make sure to get the address of one of the oracles you want to use. And then you get, for the same chain that you selected, you find the address of the self-kisser. Now that you have the two addresses, the self-kisser and the oracle, you can use the self-kisser to whitelist the address that you're going to use to read from the oracle. Something to keep in mind here, the whitelisting process is a right operation, so make sure to have funds to cover for the gas costs. Okay, time for a brief demonstration. So here, if you remember the QR code that you scanned earlier, maybe I go for one more second to it. This QR code here, we're gonna see live what's happening, an example. Okay, so basically here I have a, let me see if I'm on the right one. I have the contract for the Oracle reader. It's quite a simple contract. First, I define an instance Chronicle of type iChronicle interface, and I point it to this address. This address is the address of ETHUSD on Sepolia network. Then similarly, I define an instance self-kisser of type iSelfKisser interface, and I point it to this address. This address corresponds, as you can see here in the comments, to the self-kisser on Sepolia as well. So always make sure to match the networks. And then in the constructor, I do the self-kiss, the whitelisting part, where I whitelist the address for that oracle. Something to note here, if you're using multiple oracles, make sure to whitelist the address for every single oracle. So for example, if you have like ETHUSD and Bitcoin USD, let's say, you need to whitelist yourself for each of these feeds. Then we have like the read function, which basically returns the value and the age. The value represents the value returned by the oracle, and the age represents the Unix timestamp since the latest update of the oracle. So you can see basically how old is the value that you got from the oracle. And here, next I just have like from the interfaces, the functions that are relevant. You can see here, I think I have, where do I have? I had the interface. I wanted to, here. Here is the iChronicle interface. As you can see, it's quite light, and in most of the cases, you will want to use one of these two functions, either the read function that returns only the value of the oracle, or the read with age function. This one returns the value of the oracle and also when was the last time the oracle was updated. Okay, so we have our instance. We can compile our oracle and deploy it. I'm making sure to select the oracle and not the interface. And let's see if the internet is in our favor today. Okay, so we have here an instance of the contract. Here we're going to have the address of the oracle. We're going to have the read function. You can see here the value return. looks quite a big number. I know we're in a bull market, but we're not there yet. So what is happening here? Chronicle Oracles operate with 18 decimal places. So every time you get the return value from the Oracle, make sure to keep that in mind, that there are 18 decimal places. And the other is the age. As I mentioned, this is like the Unix timestamp. If you go to a converter, you're gonna get the date. All right. Let's go back to the presentation. So we talked about these. We also have Scaffold Oracle Reader. For those of you familiar with Biddle Guild, Austin Griffith, and the Scaffold ETH, we also have such a repo to allow you to build very fast during the hackathon and only focus on the parts of the project that differentiate it. So this is a great resource. And let me show you briefly the page for the hackathon, because I think this is the most important page. You're going to have here the contracts. You can see the contracts for our oracles either on the dashboard. If you go here, oh, not here, the dashboard, sorry, here. Make sure to toggle the dev mode for testnet. You can find here all the oracles. Or we also have like in our documentation, but I recommend getting the addresses directly from the dashboard. Then here it's a note about the whitelisting process that I just explained. You have an overview of the bounties and the different resources. We have the Scaffold Oracle Reader built on Scaffold ETH2. There is also an example here about creating a token vendor, so you can get inspired by that. And also there is an example here about integrating Cartesi rollups with Chronicle Oracle built by a community member. Yeah, and you also have like some RPCs and some common pitfalls to keep in mind. And as mentioned at the beginning, make sure to come by the booth, ask us any questions. And yeah, if you need help iterating, finding a team, or just finding an idea, more than happy to support with that. Do you have any questions? Yes? One second. Can we get a second mic for the questions? There is a mic here.
Yeah, so I got one question was regarding to read like the Oracle, you don't pay fees. It's only like when you request into the smart contract, like to get the price. I mean, maybe my question was like, I mean, if for instance I have a front end and I want to kind of read, you know, like the USD value of some ETHs, we're using Chronicle, I'm not going to pay fees for that, right?
Yes, so you can read, you don't need to have like anything to read from the Oracle. You just do the whitelisting process and you read from the Oracles, at least on testnet. On mainnet, yes, usually like you need to come talk to us, and like if you're a big protocol, there is like there are some steps to go for the integration. But from the point of view of the user, yeah, you can just go read from the Oracle and you're good to go. You just like for the whitelisting itself, you need to make sure that's just like a right operation. You need to whitelist yourself, and you need to have like a bit of gas to do the whitelisting.
Okay,
but so that's very low.
Okay, so my understanding is like it will be the protocol that's going to pay for the kind of Oracle mechanisms, right? Not the users.
Yes, it's on the protocols. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I also got a question regarding like more about the slashing mechanisms, because currently we have like a bunch of oracles that can provide price, especially off-chain. And I was wondering like how how the slashing works, because if one provider just give a wrong price, how it is managed?
Yes, that's a great question. You mean for the validators, right?
Yeah,
Like if one validator puts like a bad price. Indeed, we have that process where basically anyone can challenge data that is not valid. So if the signature is not valid, like anyone can do that, and they even get like a small bounty. Like if you manage to find someone who acted maliciously or just like they did a mistake, if you find bad data, basically you're gonna get a reward. The validator gets removed, and the data, of course, doesn't get included. So besides like the mechanism of having reputable protocols, we also have these extra guardrails. Like not only that they don't have the incentives because their reputation is at stake, but also we have like actually implemented this in the code, and this happens like automatically triggered by smart contracts.
And also like, I mean, do you do like the average of 10 different providers? I'm just thinking about maybe one scenario where maybe one provider is going to have an issue internally and get maybe a price of 0, you know? And so I was wondering, like, do you do maybe an average or something like that, or it's...
So in terms of data aggregation, average, when it comes to oracles, average is not really good because if you have outliers, those are gonna affect negatively. A better way to do it, and what we also use are medians. In our case is median of medians. So we remove the outliers and then we do the median.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
No worries. Any more questions?
Why do we have to whitelist the address?
That's basically because like on mainnet, that's our business model if you want. On mainnet, we do that and there is like an integration fee, but on testnet, we want to replicate as much as possible the process for mainnet, but it's just like for free on testnet. Yeah, it's just part of the business model. And also some sort of security for the oracles, because otherwise like you can get like a lot of people that can potentially exploit.
So loud in here.
Any more questions? Okay, looks that there's a wrap. See you at the Chronicle booth, and best of luck with your builds. Don't forget, if you're submitting for the Chronicle track, come. We would love to see you in person present, if it's possible, of course. If not, also like a short video works.